hello folks, so it doesn't matter how many of these we do, we get more. So I've got Amstrad 901, genuine made in Japan one. I've also had an email from one of our regular customers, and he's sending a Hong Kong one in, so we'll find out whether it's the genuine Hong Kong one or the fake Hong Kong one. So 29 June 25, Amstrad 901. This customer sent in a DNT M40 Denita 3000 UK, which I think is going to be the early one. And this could just be a mic issue, but I bet we end up changing the ballast resistor. So, usual thing, if we can get 3.6 watts out of it, I'll let it go. If we can't, we'll change the ballast resistor. We'll put the first 3 letters of his call sign so I can remember whose set it is. I've also got another batch of sets from our Leicester trucking and farming business. So there's a boxed NATO 40. I've never even seen a boxed NATO 40. Planet 2000. There's a ceramic tool on the floor. Right, so it's come with a microphone, but it's not the right mic. This is the Mustang mic or the Falcon stroke Compact 40 mic. So it came out of the same factory, but it's not what was supplied with these sets. But it's nice to have that. I've just spotted that my lead is on the other test set. We've been doing some business radios. So we'll move that back to... just have these are N-type to PL259, and I just really can't be bothered to make more leads, so depending which test set we're at, we end up with the same lead. And they all need to be silver plated end plugs and soldered on, not having any of this crimp stuff, so it's quite a faff to make them. Too busy doing customer stuff. There's a possibility just there that the springiness looks alright. They've not kind of migrated towards the side, but there is just a fraction of dirt. Now, where's my fiberglass brush gone? It is there. So I don't think I need to open this up. We'll just get it straight onto the test gear and write down the parameters. So it's got intermittent audio, but it's going to be the mic that. But I bet this is quite a way out. 19? Who'd have it on there? Oh, noisy squelch control. Right, I'll tell you what, we'll go into PA. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Right. So that works, but testing 1 2, testing 1 2, can't tell on that one. Well, that's one thing, works. I'll go straight with the SINAD meter on the next one. We'll probably have to put an earth on, aren't we, on this, because it's an isolated chassis. Where am I connected? Back to CB. We need to do transmit first so we get the frequency it's working on. The test set's all warmed up, it's been on a couple of hours. So we're on the 3 watt scale, we'll switch picture in picture on, and full scale deflection should be 3 watts. It is more than 3 watts. It is 3.1 watts. Channel 40, 3 watts, channel 1, 3.1 watt. Back to channel 20. Transmit current 1.427 for that power. That's off tune, isn't it? Yes, Mr. Tango, that's off tune. Low power. It's not adjustable on these. It's 210 milliwatts. Deviation for what it's worth on this test set. Wallow. 3.8. Definitely needs servicing. Frequency, let's go to the frequency counter. And what we got? 2779079 is so low that it's going to become noticeable. 2779079, but it's not illegally low. When we key up on full power, we get all the lights, so it's full scale deflection. So we now need to dial that frequency into the signal generator. Turn the volume down, it's annoying. 2779075. So we need it to be equal to the transmit because it's the same thing. He's got a DNT, I mean the transmit and receive are different on those. Right, there we are. So we'll just put sufficient for the SINAD meter. I presume, I'll tell you what folks, why is this? Because the aerial's not in right. That's good. 0.27. I'd like to get it better though, because it'd be a laugh, wouldn't it? Especially when you get a Uniden in, which is struggling to do better than 1. 0.21 microvolts, and for 20 dB 0.66. Of course this could be a false reading if the detector's out. Let's play with the squelch, go to full squelch, and on the attenuator, just look at the attenuator, you don't actually see any of those switches. We've got this at 0, so 1, 3, 10, 30, 100. Comes in as 100, which is where I want it to come in. But of course, by the time we've retuned it, it won't. Let's park this at 0.3 of a microvolt, turn the squelch down. It's difficult to work with because of the dirty control. That's it. Straight in at 0.3. Very good. So that's how it wants to be. Dirty volume control, dirty squelch control. The others are alright. And let's put S9 on the signal generator of 100 microvolts. And we've got full scale deflection. So S9 is in fact triggering at it is 100 microvolts, so it's correct. Not applicable. Switches work unless they don't. Just go for the Roger bleep. Yeah, that works. Channel 9. Mr. Chippie's going to love it. You know, I sneak it on, don't I, at the top of the hill. Oh, right. It's like that, is it? Oh, that's a good start. We'll get it opened up. So, getting it on frequency and bringing the power up a little bit should make a world of difference, but the receive, jolly good. It's got something like sticky on it, so I won't. If it was mine, it'd be going through the dishwasher. We've got an interesting radiogram project, late 1950s, mid 1950s, mono radiogram. I was given a region tone radiogram. I'm sure he told me it was a Colster Brands, but it's a region tone. And by this one of our radio club members. Well, no, I wasn't given it. I paid a tenner to cover his fuel costs. And basically, he was chopping it up for firewood and just going to use some bits off the electronic chassis. I said, "Oh, you can't do that. You know, I'll restore it." So he gave me the bits, and I paid him a tenner for the petrol. Well, we're going to start on that this week. A mono region tone radiogram. I'll have to buy some mono records. Wow, that's been damp. It's got the better ballast resistor in it though, hasn't it? They're 3 watt rated, aren't they, those? It's better than the 2.5 watt series ones which they put in. I mean, that looks really nice, and I can see that the frequency adjustment isn't at the top of the travel. I really want this to be better than 100, so by that I mean 2779. It should be 2779125, but as long as I can get it above 100, I can let the set go. But with it being at 70 something, I'm not sure we've got that much leeway. So I'll tell you what, we'll put ourselves out of our own misery and see whether we can pull it up. In actual fact, the fake one's got more latitude. It uses a Taco coil, which is incredibly better quality than the ones which are in the real one. Well, in my opinion, anyway. Whoever marvel, huh? Right, we're looking at 2779076. Fingers crossed. So 101. Well, that's where we're going to have it. I mean, it's going to be, you know, another 25 years before it becomes down to where it was. So there's no point in spending money unnecessarily. So 2779101. Aged crystal. But it's usable and nobody would notice. I mean, how many people are on illegal radios which won't go anywhere near UK channels? Right. And I say you'd need to be something like, I think it's less than 79025 to be illegally off frequency. So I say by the time you get to 076, which this was, it's noticeably off frequency. But once you're over kind of 086, it's not noticeable. So when you're at 101, it's as near as damn it, isn't it? So that's what we do there, and I think we've got a fighting chance with this because it's got that resistor. It really doesn't look messed with. You know, I can't see any mankiness. Let's see if we can pull the power up. I've got the VCO to do. It's important on this chassis. So the centre of the peak, that's the peak. That's the peak. That wasn't in the right position. That's 3.5 watts, and of course the set's been on, so its transmit power will have dropped as it's heated up. It's not continuously rated. That was in the right position. Still at 3.5. That's 3.6. Just have a look at the coil placement. It is critical. We'll let that cool down. I've got it at 3.7. We'll let it cool down. And we're still at 1.42 for the current, for more power. So we'll do the VCO. Yes, Mr. Tango, we'll do the VCO. It's channel 1 on these sets. So we'll pinch the earth wire. We had no end of these crocodile clip leads donated to us. Still can't find any. Do you know what? I've forgotten the procedure. So we'll skip that for now. It's not going to affect what we're doing at this point, but it needs doing. I'll tell you what, we'll do the deviation. I'll go back to the test set behind me. Get that out of our hair. Ugh. Let's see how stupid this is. One. It's actually 3.2, so it needs to come down a bit. They could hear this bloke on a channel either side. So somebody's in it with no test gear, haven't they? Right, that's one thing done. Right, we need our earth back on the extension speaker. Start with the detector. Get some service oil on that. And I'll get some service oil on the squelch. Don't just do them willy-nilly because I don't want to chase the grease out. Right, detector. Meaningful trace. That'll do. Show the oscilloscope on the inset picture. Good. Detector's that one. Well, it looks like it was in the right position. I'm going to do the front end first, then we'll do the IO. Tell you what, I've gained a fraction there. Well, that was about spot on. Right, we'll do these IFs. I might be able to see them on this meter. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the SINAD meter. I'm looking at the SINAD meter, I'm looking at the oscilloscope, I'm also looking at the meter on the front panel so that I don't get the IFs the wrong side. So you can end up with a better SINAD but actually a worse meter reading because you got it the wrong side. So I'll tell you what, before I do that, we're still off frequency, aren't we? I deliberately set this off frequency. So it's now 101. So we better recheck the detector. Won't affect those front end ones. So what I now need to do, I want that about 12 dB, but I also want to be able to light one of the LEDs on the meter here, so we'll just pull up the meter sensitivity so I can see this. Oh, it's squelch, is it? It's that one then. A bit more signal on. Yeah. So I've just got 3 flickering there. So I can see that getting better or worse as I do these IFs, but I'm mainly looking at the SINAD meter, which needs to be quite a good signal on there, which is what I've got. That was absolutely spot on. That was absolutely spot on. Probably a micro fraction on that. Let's get a new reading. So for 12 dB SINAD, we now have 0.26. With 10 dB, 0.21. For 20 dB, 0.66. So I've untuned it, retuned it, it's the same. So that was absolutely spot on, but I know that everything's right. And there was some movement on these, but it just goes to show between one thing and another equals the same. So we can set S9 now. So S9 wants to be 100 microvolts. Seeing as we're in the UK on a CB radio, and not 56 microvolts for a ham radio on HF. And the meter is that one. So it was right before and it's right again now. If we put more signal on, we get the plus 30. Squelch, which I've now upset, I'll put it to full. And what we'll now do is we'll move up till we get 100 microvolts. 3, 10, 30. Two slack at that. That's it, 100. 30, 100. Stand by at 0.3 of a microvolt. Squelch back down. Set threshold. Straight in at 0.3, just the same. So we've had a bit of time for the transmitter to cool down. Only something like 3% rated. So you're not supposed to be rabbiting on day. It's not like business radio base stations, which are continuously rated. And so's the price. Okay, let's see what we've got. Let's put the main meter up. We're on the 30 watt scale. And 4 watt, that's 5, so 4 is there. So we'll key up. It's 3.7. Channel 40. 3.6. Channel 1. 3.7. Back to channel 20. Current consumption 1.435, 1.435 amps. So we've gained just over half a watt, and it's drawing only 10 milliamps more. So it shows we've improved the tuning. We'll check it on low power. It's probably something like 100 milliwatts now. It's not adjustable. It's set by those resistors, but you know, we're never going to be changing that to fiddle with it. It's 250 milliwatts, so it has come up, but it's supposed to be 400 milliwatts or not exceed 400 milliwatts. So all we've got to do now, I can set the RF meter. So before it was banging across, I don't want it to bang across. It's not going to bang across if it's in low power, is it? Still in low power. So what I don't want it to do is to bang across, is what I was saying, which it is doing. So we'll just put our adjustment in there, and I want it to read 4. There we go. It's not 5. So that's psychological. Look how powerful I am. We'll come back and do the VCO when I can get round to printing off the bit from the service manual. So very nice so far. Right, we'll finish this off. I've got the VCO instructions printed. Where did I put the meter? Right. So we want our earth, because it's a floating chassis. You can use one of the coils, but I end up holding it with one hand and holding this one with the other and not having a third hand to do the twiddling. So what do the words say? VCO alignment. Channel 1, I remembered that bit right. I was thinking it's 2 volts. What does it say? It's 2 volts. I was correct. So we'll start off on receive, far side of capacitor 9. It's 2 volts. Now that is too high. That'll do nicely. And on transmit, it's also 2 volts. And it is 2 volts. I don't need to touch that. And then you kind of check some is to go to channel 40 and see that it's somewhere. They say 4 to 5 volts, but it isn't. You know, it's nearer there, and that's right. Yeah. See, in the good old days, when you're mending your, like the region tone radiogram that we're going to be putting together, it'll say on the service sheet, it'll say voltage measurements with such and such a meter, and in the UK the industry standard is AVO 8. And so you get your AVO 8 and you know the readings of what you're expecting with that multimeter, but these days you're expecting to use electronic ones, and these manuals were written 40 years ago, so you're never quite sure. But experience comes in. Right, we're going to put the lids on. I'll just do a final transmit power check, and let's just have a look together at what that meter says. So it was 5 is there, 4 is there, yeah, it's 4.7, and we'll have a look at the frequency together. Now everything's been on for a couple of hours, so we couldn't get it higher than 2779101, and let's have a look what it is now. 79105. On channel 40. Just drop it to 20 so it makes sense. Yeah, 104. So I can correct that. It's 104. So it's so near. I say they won't have any trouble for 25 years, but they won't drop back to where it was. Right. We've got obviously the audio problem is the microphone. We'll have a quick look at that. Just pop these back on. We don't mend mics. Bear in mind we do help individuals, but we're supposed to be a trade-only supplier. But since COVID, we have helped people. As long as the sets are legal, we're okay. Many years ago, when I was service manager at Nottingham Radio, I was always very strict that if we're having CB radios in for repair, that they had to be legal. And the boss, he was a taxi customer boss. He got some illegal SSB set, like a Ham International multi-mode 2 type of thing. Potential dry joint there. And I says, you really should not be taking that in, John. But he did. And the next day, it was the DTI with the Ofcom people in those days, came in on some totally normal type of business. And that was the end of the illegal CB being there. I think he said, is it going to be the hammer, or do I fetch the confiscation pad? I think it was the hammer. the customer came in. I'll buy you a new one. I said, you will not. It was illegal, and the customer's taken the risk. So that was another one rid of. Just a potential dry joint there. Not sure why there's a resistor there, but the set works fine, as you know. And that story I've just told you would have taken place about 1994. Yep, I'm satisfied. As you know, we make power leads for these with the correct mouldings, which I think we import them from the United States, unless of course Mr. Trump puts some special tariff on. So I can see this is a new power lead, but it's not one of the ones we do, because Mr. Chippie puts sleeving on to help these not come apart. But nevertheless, I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. 21 gauge, 15 amp. I wouldn't want to put 15 amp through it, but there we go. Right. In fact, I've just had to order inline fuse holders from our UK wholesaler. And I've just had to order the connectors for the communicators radios and the planets and the serpents and the Manichestrals and other sets of those fixed NATO 40. I've just had to order those from our Japanese supplier. And there's a 6-week lead time, but we've still got some in stock. Right, well, have a look. Shall we look at it on PA? I'll tell you what, we'll put the PA speaker on. I think it's that one. Switch to PA. Plug in what I'm going to call a Mustang mic. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. I'm either plugged into the wrong socket, which is very easily done. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2, 1 2, 1 2. If that's a broken lead, he's a radio amateur, so he can change his own lead. I'll clean the switch. There's no sleeve there. It would be nice if there was a bit of heat shrink tubing there, but there isn't. So I'll just switch it off so we're not switching this. I'm going to waggle this about a bit. That switch has seen better days. Somebody brought a mic to wire. The same person brought a entertainment radio to look at, and a digital entertainment radio to look at. So we don't do things like that, but we do the mic wire. That's fair enough. But he's local, so we'll see what we can do. Testing 1 2, 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 testing 1 2. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Well, that seems to work, so we'll go back to CB. And it's going back to receive. So that seems to be okay, but no warranty, no fee for doing that. Because I don't charge for things we don't do. I've now gone and lost our test mic. Something like a Roadrunner rate mic or Roadhog. It's bright red. Looks like it ought to be a power mic, but it isn't. Seems to be a thing in America, doesn't it? Accessory microphones. I think there must be a need for having accessory microphones with their AM system, whereas all the radios here are speech processed. And I've always said this, you know, you don't see professional users with accessory microphones, do you? It's the one that's made for and comes with the set. Right, I'll turn the signal generator off. And we'll put the aerial in. So once again, it's a Solarcon 99. Fiberglass 17 foot, whatever it is. Without the optional ground plane kit. Just above gutter height, single story building. 1 Anna Roger. Oh, and look, all 4 lights. It's doing more power, remember. It's doing a good half watt more. And we get 4 lights, not 5. Oh, it must be doing less power than it was. Nobody flogging their water tank today. There we go. Really nicely working Amstrad CB901. We'll do an on the air test later on. Thank you for watching.